If you ever wanted to have a landing page for your open source project, I'm building something just for you. I'm super excited to share with you some awesome features I'm working on and show you an example of how fast it will be to build landing pages for your GitHub projects. So let's quickly head over to an example project I've got set up on my machine, and I'll show you how quickly we can get started. So here's a quick example of Git Pages. So this is using Facebook React as a base page. So if you change this URL to your project, it will render your project. So there's two parts to Git Pages. One is the URL, which will be your project, your GitHub project URL on the end there. And the other is the Git page YAML file. Now the Git page YAML file will be hosted in your GitHub project, and it will define what kind of blocks do you want on your home screen. So let's have a quick look. So we've got a header block and we've got a hero block. So let's go back to our example. And as you can see here at the top, we've got a header block, and down here we have our hero block. So what if we wanted to make changes to our pages, and what kind of hero blocks will Git Pages offer? So let's have a quick look at making some changes right now. So say on this header, let's start with the header. Let's say up here we wanted to change the background of this, or we wanted to change to a different type of block. So we'll go back to our YAML file, and rather than the block type header, type clear, we can put something like this. We can put solid. Now if we go back, refresh, Git Pages will render this statically. It will notice the change to your YAML file and give you another static version and host it for you. So as you can see here, with one change, we got a new navigation bar at the top, which is pretty cool. But what happens if you didn't want this button up here, this view on GitHub button? Okay, so let's just go back and just change this to false. Save that, come back, refresh. As you can see, most things are configurable up here. So we have tutorial and we've got blog. But what happens if we wanted to add something else, like some docs URL? So if we go back to our project here and add in a docs link. So a new link is going to be docs, and the href is going to point to the documentation for React, and the styles, let's make it transparent, and I'll show you what that does in a minute. So let's save that again and go back, refresh, and now you can see docs is in the URL, tutorial and blog. And let's say we were playing around with this and we didn't really like this blue background up here, we didn't really like this block, and we wanted to try something else. So let's go back to clear, save that, reload that, and you can see docs, tutorial and blog. Now what Git Pages will do, it will allow us to start styling stuff. So if we go back, we can say, okay, well, let's make docs, let's make these actually, buttons. We don't want them to be transparent. Let's take that off and see what that does. And as you can see, it puts this nice shadow and nice background at the top there. And up here, let's say you didn't want this title, you wanted a custom title at the top. Again, all we do is come in here, do title, do my awesome project, whatever you want. Again, when we refresh, Git Pages will know that there's been a change to your project. It will re-render the content and serve this statically for everyone else. So it will only ever rerun and re-render once the changes have been made. It will detect the changes, pull out the static content and host it for you. So that's great. So that's an example of a header. So there'll be a few headers to play around with as I explore this thing a bit more. So let's take a look at this hero block here. Okay, so I call this the stacked hero. So we've got a title, a little description, a call to action and an image. And this image is actually a screenshot of the project. It just happened now. So every time you refresh or this thing rebuilds, it will screenshot the project. I might make this configurable so people can change things as and when they want. So let's play around with what other hero things we've got. So if we go back to the project and then hero, so typed. So let's say we want something different. So I'm going to go for a side-by-side block. Refresh this. And again, just like that, it knows how to render. So it will render your thing side by side, again with your image there and everything there. So if you're if you're happy with that, that'll be it. But let's continue to make some changes just for the demo. So if we wanted to change the title and you didn't want to be this, we can change it. My awesome project, JavaScript library for building user interfaces. Cool. Okay, anything we want, we can change. Refresh that. You can see my awesome project. So that's pretty cool. And then down here, rather than read the docs, what if you wanted a command as a call to action, like a JavaScript library or some kind of library? So then let's just comment out this call to action, put the command in, refresh that. You can see here this command with this copy thing is there, and that will allow people to just come in, one click, copy, paste off the terminal to install your project. And you can just play around with this. So let's go back to stacked, refresh that, and you can see there we've got a stacked application. So this is just a quick example of what GitPages will offer. If you head over to Gitpages.app, you can sign up to the early access. And what I'm going to be doing next is I'll continue to write some blocks until we get a nice full page of blocks and some configurable things. And then I'm going to start releasing it out to everyone in early access to get feedback and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you want to sign up, put your email address in here and click the button. Or if you're still not really sure, just come check out the page. This says kind of how it works and everything else. Here's another example here I've posted up. Some features of the project, why I'm building it. I've also got at the top up here an example and about, so if you want to know more behind the scenes. Also on indie hackers, so I appreciate any support on there, so I'll place some links below. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, love to know any feedback you've got, and I'm really excited about this project. I'm really excited about just offering this for free for every GitHub project in the world, and I think it can really add some value to some projects out there. So until next time, thank you very much for listening. See you around.